Okay, we're back here at our workstation and we're about ready to start the second project. The second project is to construct an octagon. An octagon is an 8-sided geometric shape, and to do this project you're going to need a tape measure, a pencil, a scrap piece of plywood to mount your octagon onto, and some small nails. Okay, the objectives of this is to help develop accuracy in cutting angles and also in duplicating the same size piece over and over. You're going to use the layout tools to mark out the pieces, and you're going to use the miter box saw to cut them. I have to stress one more time that the importance of this project is to make each piece identical. They have to be the same size. Okay, I'm going to start. My plan tells me I need to have each segment of the octagon is going to be 4 inches. So I'm going to take my tape measure and I'm going to mark at 4 inches. I'm going to have 2 angles on each piece. Each piece is going to angle in at a 22.5 degree angle. On your plan, you can see it says 67.5, but that's the opposite side, the complement angle to the angle that you're going to cut. The angle that the miter box will be set at will be 22.5 degrees, and we'll do this over here. Okay, on this miter box you have a little blue handle here on the bottom. If you loosen it, it will allow this miter box to turn and stop at all the different degree angles on the saw, from 90 degrees to 45 in each direction. If we count back 22.5 from 90, 10, 20, and 2.5, it puts me at this number 8. And as you can see, it means it's an 8-sided, for an 8-sided figure. Okay, so that's what we're making. So we loosen it up, and if I let go of the handle, the saw will lock in at that 22.5 degrees. Okay, on the front and back side of the saw there's 2 little levers. You lift up the lever, it will allow the saw to slide down. I want to line the saw so that I'm right with the very edge of my piece, and I'm going to make a cut. Okay, my first cut is complete at a 22.5 degree angle. Now, in order to make the second cut, which is going to be going the opposite way, I'm going to raise the saw up and lock it into the top. You press the lever and slide over, and you'll find the opposite side. There's a little mark that has an 8 in it, and it's shaped like an octagon. I line the arrow up with that line, and that's going to give me my 22.5 degrees. Hold the saw with one hand and release the latches. Lower the saw down so that I'm lined up with my second line. And I'm going to make that cut. Okay, now I've completed that cut, and I still have enough material left on this piece of wood that I have. Because I cut it at a 22.5 degree angle to get this piece off, I can use that angle as the first angle on my second cut. If I take a pencil and I mark it, that will give me the length of the second one. Use this one to each one. You can put a little P on it for your pattern piece. Always measure using the same piece. Okay? Once again, I'm going to raise the saw up, latch it to the top. I'm going to swing the miter box to 22.5 degrees. Release my saw blade from the top catch and put it right down on the line. As I said before, accuracy in making these pieces all the same size is going to make your project come out nice. Okay, here's my second piece. I'm going to use my pattern piece to make the 6 additional pieces that I need. Okay, I've completed cutting the remaining 6 pieces of my octagon using the miter box. As you can see, my pattern is here, and the other 7 pieces are here. Now, a good idea would be to take your pencil and maybe make a line where these are going to go. So once you get them lined so that they fit, you'll know where they go on your plywood. Okay. As I said earlier, if you don't make each one of these exactly the same, you could end up with a scenario where when you come around the end, you have your octagon is not meeting. Okay? So the most important part of this project is to cut the 8 pieces accurately so that they all have the same length. Once you get this done, you're going to take a nail, lining them up, keeping them on the pencil line that you made, and I want you to tack them to the scrap plywood. I'm going to go ahead and finish tacking this up, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back here at our assembly station, and as you can see, I have assembled my octagon, and I've used a small nail to attach them onto this plywood. By cutting each one the same, it created the 360 degrees to get back around to where we started. Now, once you complete your octagon and you're satisfied with your project, I want you to place a nail in the top of your scrap piece. If you're not tall enough to reach, there's a little step stool provided for you underneath your bench. And we're going to go ahead and attach your project right here above your window.